Good afternoon, and very good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to VUEGRAPHY, and welcome to the part 2 of the best value for money photography gears from Nikon. In this video, I'm going to talk about mirrorless part. In the last video, I was only talking about the best value gear for the DSLR F mount. I talked about the cameras, I talked about the lenses. In this video, I'm going to be only specifically going to talk with you about the mirrorless, the cameras and the lenses. Now, the thing is, mirrorless is new. We don't have much of the lenses that we are already having for the DSLR. But that's fine. We still have. There are some equipment which are very good value, very good value for money that we are spending. Let's talk about the cameras. There are two cameras which the best value for money, period. Now Nikon Z30 from which I'm making this video, and Nikon Z5. The Nikon Z30 is crop sensor camera, 20.9 megapixels, gives 11 frames per second, very great autofocus. It's basically built for vlogging, but I am using it full time as into photography, and the more I'm using, the more I'm falling in love with this camera, the Z30. The reason is the image quality that it's giving me, the SNR firmware that it comes with, it's the cheapest mirrorless camera from Nikon. It's somewhere, I don't know, $700, $699 the body only, and the image quality that it provides at that price point is insane. I'm getting almost full frame equivalent dynamic range. The high ISO capability of Z30 is insane. I never saw such a great crop sensor camera which can handle noise so well. So for me, the price point of Z30, after further it drops down, I don't know how much, $600, $700 something, body only, is the best value for money, period. Which can record video, take photos, 11 frames per second, 20.9 megapixel, which is equivalent to 45 megapixel full frame, can record video up to 2 hours non-stop, charge and record, very great camera. When it comes to full frame, we have Z6, we have Z6 II, we have Z7, we have Z7 II, we have Z9, we have Z8, but there is one, silent soldier that nobody wants to talk about, or nobody even have it, which is Nikon Z5. Now, what I love about the Nikon Z5, first of all, is the cheapest full frame mirrorless camera right now that you can get around $800 or less. $800 or less. Body only. It's amazing. It's amazing. It only provides, I believe, 4.5 frames per second. It's not built for speed, but it can record video up to 4K with 1.7 crop. But full HD, no issue, especially with the new firmware update 1.40. The video and the autofocus acquisition, it's dramatically improved. It doesn't look like it's the same old slow Z5. It's much faster. The autofocus is much stickier. Very great. The dynamic range, the high ISO capability is just like D780, which was DSLR. So the number of megapixels, the high ISO capability, the dynamic range, 2 card slots, and it came with, at the time of Z6 and Z7, which was only having 1 XQD card slot. Z5 was the only camera at that point which was giving you 2 SD card slots, so you can take backup. So for me, I'm shooting since last nearly 2 years now with Z5, and for me Z5, I don't feel like I need Z6 or Z62, because even though the Z62 and Z5 both are, are 24 megapixel, but Z6 is BSI sensor, Z5 is conventional sensor. But still, for me, I don't see any difference because I don't pixel peep. I stopped pixel peeping now. I used to do a lot in past, but not now. For me, the story, the feeling inside the image is much more important now when it comes to technical things. Because once you have a story in the image, nobody wants to know how technical the image was. But if you don't have any story in the image, so obviously people are going to talk about the gears and stuff. So, but if you have a story, nobody cares about what kind of gear you used. So that's my philosophy now. So Z5 is still the best value for money camera that you can get, which you can record full HD and 4K video, 2 card slots, and 24 megapixels, enough to do all kind of work. Very great dynamic range, very great high ISO capability. So for me, best value for money camera. The rest, when it okay, you probably say, what about Z7 too? Because we need high megapixel camera. Z7, and if you are landscaper, then you can go with Z7, not Z7 II. Even though Z7 II is very great SNR firmware, very improved SNR firmware over Z7, and it has 2 card slots, Z7 II. But I'm going to recommend Z7 for the landscaper because it's the best value for money, because of the price point, because of the dynamic range, because what the quality of image that you can get from Z7, not Z7 II. If you need 24 megapixel, don't go for Z6. Go straight with Z5 and you will get the much cheaper and much better camera. So I recommend Z5 over Z6, not Z62, because Z62 is totally more insane video centric machine. Now, if you talk about Z8 and Z9, well, they are totally differently. I'm not going to compare them or include in this video. Okay, some of you say, well, you talk about the great value of money, then why don't you talk about Z8? Because Z8 is cheaper than Z9. Well, that's true. When we talk about the great value of money and we talk about the insane Z9 capability, then yeah, Z8 is straight away the best choice, best value for money, because you're saving $1,500. Insane $1,500. But it's $4,000 machine, the Z8. I'm still including it now, but we are talking about only Z8 and Z9, apple to apple. So of course then Z8 is the right choice. But that's not a part. But these two machines are totally differently. We are specifically talking about the best value for money. So that's where the Z30 and Z5 are my choices. Now let's talk about lenses. We have all kind of lenses. We have primes 21.8, 24 1.8. We have 28 1.8, 35 1.8, 50 1.8, 85 1.8. These primes are all available from 20 to 85. Then we have zooms. We have 24 to 200. Travel zoom. Good. I don't recommend that lens. Instead of, I recommend 24 120 f4. Right now its price is very low, and in my opinion, not even 24 to 70 f4. No. That 24 to 120 f4, that's the best value lens that you can get. Its optical quality is insane. The autofocus acquisition is very fast, and the sharpness, the image quality that you can get from that 24 to 120 f4. It's amazing. You buy that lens, you don't need 24-70 2.8 because you can shoot with 120 at f4 and you can get a very great portraiture. Very great. It covers a 50 millimeter more than 24 to 70 f4. So you are basically getting two lenses in one body, one lens body. The 24 to 70 and 70 to 120. So you have 24 to 70, that one lens, and extra 50 millimeter, that's equivalent to prime. So you are getting two lenses in one. Best value for money. Don't go for 24-70 f4. Instead, spend a little more, but you will get 24 to 120 f4, and that lens will cover a lot more than 24 to 70 f4. And you can couple it with Z5 and you are good to cover 90-95% of the things, including video, including portraiture, including landscape, including street photography. This combination is the cheapest and the best of the best of the best. Period. The other lenses, when you get, because we already have 14-24 2.8, 24-70 2.8, 70 to 200 2.8, but these are all high-end lenses. There is another range of cheap lenses, but they are video centric. 17 to 28 2.8, 28 to 75 2.8. These are cheap zoom lenses from Nikon for the Z mount, but they are soft from the corners, but the center part is very sharp. The whole idea of these 17 to 28 and 28 to 75 2.8s, the whole idea is that they are compact. They are 2.8, but they are compact and they are built for video. So if you are a video shooter and you need 2.8 and you think that I cannot afford 14-24, 24-70, 70 to 200 2.8 because they are expensive, that's where the 17 to 28 2.8, 28 to 75 2.8 will cover. There will be 75 to 180 2.8 will come in future, which in the roadmap, so hopefully we'll get. So this will cover from 17 to 180 2.8 for the video. So that's the alternative that you can go with as of now. But when it comes to journal photography, okay, wide angle lens, crop sensor, we are having this new announced 12-24 PZ lens. I didn't have a chance so far to get my hands on it, but that lens looks good. It got internal zoom. It's a good crop sensor lens to cover stories, ultra wide angle. I don't recommend at that point right now because I haven't used it. So the price point, the optical quality, and all. So I'll try to update this video in future with some new additional content. But right now there is ultra wide. There is no. There are from the f mount, but we are specifically talking about the mirrorless lineup. So mirrorless, we have only 16 to 35 from which I'm shooting myself right now for crop sensor. Good enough. By the way, when it comes to crop sensor, we have that 50 to 250 tele. That lens is also very, very, very good value for money care lens. It's a telephoto lens for the crop sensor, 50 to 250, very great lens, good value for money. And it's got very great VR, very great VR. I was surprised. I was literally surprised by its VR function. I wasn't expecting that lenses at longer focal length is going to stabilize them at so damn well on the crop sensor. Very great. Very great. So when it comes to lenses, we have 24 to 120 f4 period. Oh, by the way, the primes, all the prime right now are holding very great value for money. 50 1.8, very great value for money. 85 1.8, very great value for money. Very great value for money. Instead of 35 1.8, try 28 1.8. Very great value for money. If you want to shoot astro, 21.8, very great value for money. So go for 21.8, then 28 1.8, 50 1.8, 85 1.8. In this way you will cover almost everything. They are very great value for money. Yep. So that's for the Z mount. I hope you like this video. I was expecting that for the mirrorless my video is going to be short because we don't have much lenses which they are going to be have, and the whole idea is to provide best value for money. So I didn't touch the high-end focal. Oh, sorry, there is one more lens. That lens is a telephoto lens. Very great value for money. Of course, its price is a little bit high, but what it provides is making it the best value for money. Is 400 4.5S VRS for the Z mount. If you are into sports action wildlife, bird shooter, and you are a traveler, that 400 4.5, it's heaven. It made in heaven. Its price is very less. It's insanely lightweight, only around 1 kilogram, and it's 400, and it's 4.5, and it's ultra fast acquisition, autofocus acquisition, and it's edge to edge sharp. It's literally edge to edge sharp. I am in love with that lens. So imagine if you have Z9 or Z8 and you are shooting birds, that lens is the best value for money. You don't need 2.8. We have 400 2.8, we have 600 f40C, but they are super expensive. So that makes that 400 4.5. It's just like what we have for the f-mount 500 5.6 PF lens. That lens I didn't cover in my last video because we are already covered 200 to 500 5.6. So that lens didn't qualify for that one, but that 500 5.6 PF lens was really great value for money. So this 400 4.5 is exactly like 500 5.6 for the f-mount. So very great value for money, that 400 4.5. It's still expensive, but when I compare to 400 2.8, of course I'll straight away go with this 400 4.5. Best lens, lightweight, very great build quality, very great VR, very great image H2S sharpness. So what if it's 4.5? If you have a story, nobody cares about the bokeh. Now you can create bokeh in Photoshop easily. Photoshop has this feature, depth effect. You just shoot with 4.5 and create the 2.8 depth in Photoshop. You can do that. Anybody can do that now. So that's the whole my video about the mirrorless and the equipment which I think the best value for money when it comes to Z mount for the Nikon. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys in future with some new content. Till then, take care.